Indeed, Anthony was a freak of nature, but don't we love him so? Hell yeah, we do. The Chili Peppers are total Pleiadians. They, in fact, I had a channeling about them one time. That album they made in '91, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. I want you to imagine every genre of music you've ever heard of, and I want you to take, 2 or 3 great people out of that genre. I want you to meld them all together and have them collaborate together with their spirit and to channel one record for somebody that's a mix of that. That album is, I played it for a few people, and then the first song, they're like, oh, that ain't my kind of music. It's weird. The first song on that album is not part of that. The rest of it, starting with the second song, the first one's okay, but the second one, starting all the way through, is completely channeled through. I mean, you're talking like a mix of, this shit's like a mix of, taking Nirvana, taking NWA, Public Enemy, the Rolling Stones, Muddy Waters, the Beatles, Pink Floyd, Ozzy Osbourne, Neil Diamond. I mean, imagine mixing all that shit together and more. Cypress Hill, a little bit of the Beatles, even. Fats Domino, Chuck Berry. Mix all that, stir that together. That's that album right there. They were a very diverse group. That's what they're known for. They're kind of a hybrid, futuristic type sound. Especially with that one record, their first big, huge album after they'd been together like 8 years on the punk scene. They all went to high school together too. Most of the band did. And, they went to a very dangerous high school, Fairfax in Los Angeles. But I'm sure they were cool and liked by everybody. Those were some pretty hip white guys. They probably had a hood pass. I'm sure, in fact, they had a hood pass. If you don't know what one is, don't worry. I've been lucky enough to have one before, but it's kind of an honor. Okay, so here's the deal. It's Rockin' Larry Locken, right? Pleiadian Express Production. Man, I've got a lot to get into, okay? For the first time ever on this show, at one point, I'm going to read a little bit of some horoscopes. That'll tie in a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about Mercury retrograde, which that will be a part of. But the main thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about galaxies, wormholes, nebulas, portals, window gates, supernovas. Where were you when we were getting high in that champagne supernova? That champagne supernova in the sky, by chance? Yes, Mr. Gallagher, yes, no, only, if you and Pete were there, that would have been better, but you know what? Where were you two when I was getting high? And I'm hoping someday you're going to find me in that champagne supernova. That champagne supernova in the sky. Yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to be like, what the fuck is he talking about? It's Thanksgiving night, I'm letting loose a little bit. That was a group called Oasis from the UK back in the 90s. They had few big songs. That one was one, and then Wonderwall was another one. After all, you're my Wonderwall. Yeah, good stuff. They kind of had a rivalry going with this other band at the time, and I really loved their one hit too that they had over here. It's called Blur, B-L-U-R. They had a song called Boys to Be Girls or something like that. I just remember the jam to it. Still looking for boys who are girls, who love boys who love girls, or some shit. I don't remember the lyrics, but I only heard it a few times, but I dug it, It almost made my top 110 songs of 86 to 96. In fact, I think I might have it on there. Anyway, so we're going to get into it here, but here's what we're going to do first. We're going to hear a little bit from Commander Janina. we are going to hear a little bit from Commander Janina about the Creation Light Ship, because we're going to get into how Creation's Manifestation Center is also in the business of the nebulas, not the planetary nebulas. It's funny, you have planetary nebulas, and then you have these others, the regular nebulas. Of course, there's a bunch of different kinds, but the planetary one is not really much to do with the planets, and we'll get into that. But here we're going to hear a little bit from Janina, and she's got to talk about, this is important, this is a little bit older, but I used to channel this right here, okay? I've seen this in the sky at night and in the daytime when it's just clouds. Okay, this is real, this thing is real. We'll go from there. I'm not going to say anything more about it because there's some legal issues why I can't talk too much about it. So, let me put the volume up and we're going to hear what Commander has to say. Here she comes on. Okay. Commander, any time now you can speak. How long does this go?
Creation Light Ship. Creation's Manifestation Center, the Earth's Ascension. The Creation Light Ship is a multi-dimensional space station, approximately 419 miles in diameter, with 167 floors. Each floor has a height of 12 feet. This height can be changed consciously to accommodate the taller light beings on our staff. The space station's massive command center has over 5,000 docking bays. The light ship is Creation's Manifestation Center. Here the 12 source energies manifested their original creations, universes, and all life forms using their divine love light frequencies. The Creation Light Ship is an integral part of the creation energy. The light ship's vast database contains the genetic codes of all created life forms throughout time and space. It also contains a complete linear progression of all known healing arts throughout creation. All divine blueprints with their physical structures that were created by the 12 source energies are recorded and reside on the Creation Light Ship. This vast database of spiritual blueprints is used to create planets, life forms, etc. On the light ship, planets are creative expressions of the divine intelligence of love. Some spirits are created to manifest themselves as planets through their own creative energy. They are highly evolved conscious beings with incredible abilities. They embody the planet which they have created. Other spirits then created to experience life on these planets. Your body's DNA has special codes. These codes contain your complete past biological information and your full ancestral genetic history. This record goes back in time to parents, grandparents, etc. Throughout your genetic lineage, the light ship's light being doctors can view your genetics to see how they have manifested in you. They can evaluate your genetic history to see how it has influenced your physiology. The light being doctors will use this information to understand how they can best assist you. This is your opportunity to experience the highly advanced, non-invasive, energetic healing abilities of the Creation Light Ship's divine light beings. They clear away densities within minutes that could require decades of earthly clearing and processing. Experience healing through divine love offered by the energies that created you. Janina, Creation Light Ship Commander. The Creation Light Ship's Healing Arts University Fleet. The fleet travels interdimensionally throughout time and space during the universal shift. The purpose of this is to clear out densities, realign, and balance cosmic energies, and offer ascension preparation sessions to all beings created in the light by the Creation Light Ship. The Healing Arts University Fleet consists of 89 outreach motherships, servicing their 628 smaller remote healing ships. Smaller remote ships have fully staffed healing teams, with 852 as many as 3,500 staff members per ship. There are over 200 races, highly trained, working in unison, to heal each life form at its own unique vibration frequency. The Creation Light Ship's fleet is available to all healing ships throughout creation. We offer teaching and consultation, along with emergency assistance, on healing ships that come to us for assistance. For example, from the Pleiades, Arcturus, Sirius, etc. are under our supervision, and must follow our protocols to re-establish divine order in the light. The creation energy is made of pure light and love. It did not create the dark forces as is believed by many people on Earth. They are not part of the divine creation energy. The fleet has defense ships that must do battle with the dark forces. The dark forces do not follow spiritual law of love and light. The dark forces are very serious about their attempt to take over the light and its creations. At the time of the last universal shift, the Earth...
Okay, so we heard from Janina there. This is true. This is a timeless one. You know, boy, this is as real as anything I've ever seen because it's real. I've dealt with the creation light ship, okay? And I've been saying it the other night. I wanted to bring them in too because the light did not create the darkness. There was no intention of creating a duality, but it happened, okay? It happened because, and I said this before, creators went out to co-create. The creation itself is not completely perfect. It is still trying to learn. Maybe perfect, it's still trying to learn and expand. Well, the oversight that was made was creators went out and terraformed planets, went out and created constellations, went out and did all this wonderful stuff. But you see, what they forgot to do was keep the light spiraling. Keep that love light spiraling like Alcyone does of the Pleiades, right? Keep it. You know, what do you think would happen if Alcyone quit reflecting its sun through the other 7 or 8 in our galaxy or whatever, our solar system? Yeah, it'd be hectic, right? If the Pleiadians quit spiraling their love to us, that's how it comes to us, is in a spiral. You know, if you're in tune with that stuff, you're going to notice, or you should have long since noticed, just little things, like even something so simple as looking at a light pole out your window or something, a light that comes off of it, kind of coming at you in threes at the window. Just little things like that are spirals. I guarantee if you went back in time for me, about 15 years ago, 14, it wasn't doing that. You know, it all of a sudden happened because that Pleiadian energy comes through you, right? And I'm sure it's the same way with Arcturus and Sirius, but the Pleiadians spiral, you know, and what happened was, okay, the light faded. There wasn't enough, and so what happened is light bodies started getting more dense, started getting more physical, started having aches and pains, and started having things in that body, desires, like, I'm not talking sex or, well, that too. Well, sex is always craved, even at a level of a light body, not craved, but it's different. It's not something that's shunned. But I'm talking about like just things to satisfy your body that you shouldn't put in it. You know, and then what could that cause was greed, to make sure, you know, that they had what they needed, and then it just spiraled downhill from there, and that created the dark because there wasn't enough light to go around. Because where the full, true cosmic light is, no darkness can be. When the light is at its full strength, no darkness can be there. And so that happened, okay? It was an oversight, and now, you know, this is what we're dealing with. But they do spin it like duality is a good lesson learner, and it is. I mean, we have to spin it like that. I always mock it, but what can we do? That's the only option we have at this point. It's there, you know, and we have to take it as look at it as like, okay, it's here, you know, we're trying to get rid of it, but even then, I mean, it was here, so we have to look at it like it was a lesson learner for some people. I mean, but I wouldn't go so far as to say, oh, this is great. It's very necessary. No, it's not. But it's here, and we've got to look at it that way, but don't play it like it's some cool thing to have happen. Okay, it is part of everybody's evolution to come through that, right? But we're talking about like an individual progression of things. They're talking about a complete dark, evil, greedy, collective, you know, mentality that hasn't seen too much light in a long time, you know, lower vibrating type of looks to their body, you know, things of that nature, okay? That was never part of creation. It was never meant to be. That'd actually be pretty sadistic if it was, and then try to spin it like it was just a lesson learner. No, it ain't quite that way. If you're advanced of a being to be able to create your own galaxies and stuff, yeah, I don't think at that point you need to go through any of that crap. It's just not necessary. And so what we've done, though, too, is we've given it credence. We have paid attention to it. We've gotten fearful of it, and I understand it can happen. And so we've given it attention, but nothing the dark has ever offered has been anything but lies. Lies and just judgment, right? And I'm not judging them. I'm not talking about people that are going through their own personal stuff and having a dark night of the soul. I'm not what I'm getting. People, yes, that is part of your spiritual evolution, going through that. I'm talking about an agenda-based, okay? And yes, they are still there's creations of the light still as well, okay? But it was not meant in the blueprint to have that happen, to come about so we could learn that lesson. That wasn't in the plans. But since it's here, that's what it's about. I'm going to quit harping on that, but that's the truth. You know, I'd love for somebody to challenge me on that, and, you know, I'm sure I can hear it now. They might speak better than I do, and they'll be like, well, you know, it really, duality, it forces us to go within and look at ourselves and get to experience that. And okay, fine. Good. I mean, you know, okay. And I'm sure a lot of people need that, but that's fine. And that's what they want to think. And they're actually right, though. See, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. The point I'm trying to make in a roundabout way is that creation did not intend for the shit to happen. It's just not, it's not that sadistic, but it's here. And it's that way. So you know what? So listen, we're going to transition into this Mercury retrograde. You know, it's always in retrograde. You know, I saw this meme the other night, or it was actually just last night. It said, what the WTF is Mercury retrograde? You know, what the fuck is Mercury retrograde? Yep. You hear it a lot, though. Look, you even hear it on, I used to listen to the sports talk show on the satellite radio when I had Sirius XM. And he would have this lady on twice a month, like every other Saturday, and she would read astrological signs. She'd talk about the star constellations. She'd talk about Mercury being in retrograde, and this guy got hooked on saying that phrase, Mercury in retrograde. But it kind of has become kind of a joking catchphrase, like among us starseeds and light workers, that, oh man, I'm hurting. Man, this shit, what the hell's going on? Is Mercury in retrograde? You know, but it's really a big deal right now. It's hitting 5 planets right now, it's my understanding from Larkma. And from the Aldair of the Pleiadian, you know, he's part of the Pleiadian collective. He's not on one of the councils. That's Reva and Mira, which we're going to hear what Mira's got to say here in a little bit, too. I'm going to see what Auntie's got to say about this stuff going on. You know, I've been listening to Mira for a long time. She's a really good source. There's one other one I prefer better than her over there, though, now, and she's like a sister. It's like Reva. She's really great. You got to check her out. And Tan's cool too. He's like a hipper, cooler, better looking little cousin of mine from the Pleiades. But yeah, Tan Han is his name. Long, gray hair, blue eyes that would melt a candle. You know what I mean? Amazing team over there. And what Janina goes on to talk about on here, like on this video, is about how, you know, the Galactic Federation was in, you know, we had to stop them and confront them about their shenanigans they were pulling. They were about 13 years ago now, 12 years ago. Yeah, there was some people trying to infiltrate the Galactic Federation of Light. Not the Federation of Worlds or Planets. The Worlds is the one I'm associated with directly. But, you know, I deal with the GOFL too. They're cool now. They're really great. They really got their, I'm going to say it, they really got their shit together now. They really seriously do. But man, there was some problems. There was some problems with some infiltrators and some of what we call these rogue Pleiadians, these Aldebaran type self-agenda Pleiadians. There is a group of them. Aldebaran has a lot of them. You know, the Ashtar Command, good old Uncle Ash. Yeah, we're not going to talk about him. It's a kind of a family personal thing with me and that fucker. Anyway, so Aldebaran decided that they thought it would be a good idea about, I don't know, 82, 83 Earth years ago. They thought it'd be a real wonderful idea to, you know, with Hitler and Hermann Göring trying to put it out there in the etheric to contact extraterrestrials regarding secrets and to technology and weaponry in World War II, or as they were starting to make their move across Europe. Oh yeah, Aldebaran, you know, kind of lame brain. They always seem to go with pro kind of, they like real fascist, strong-armed, strictly ran, regimented, I hate to say this, but pro-white type of collectives. They really go for that kind of stuff from planets. And Hitler and Göring, you know, they gave Hitler and Göring some info. That's why the Pleiadians from the star cluster had to come in World War II and, you know, act like we were Foo Fighters That's who it was. It was us. You know, we had to get involved because Aldebaran supplied all this weaponry, and the Greys were involved too. Hitler got a hold of them. You know, the same Greys, in fact, collective that they tried to contact Nikola Tesla. He's like, no, that's weird. And so the Venusian Pleiadians got a hold of Tesla and gave him some info. Set him up real nice when he left that planet. He don't you worry about Uncle Nikola. He's fine. He's fine. They tried to mock him here. They were trying to say he married a bird and shit. I mean, all kinds of disinfo. And of course, it's public record that when he died in 43, man, at his hotel, right away, 3 different government agencies, 3 of them, separate from each other, descended upon his hotel room to get his shit. I guess there was a big argument over who got to take it. You know, so, you know, I mean, that's a pretty big deal if, you know, and that they waited till you were gone. They couldn't come get it while you were alive. There was something there that he had, but they wanted and didn't. They wanted to make sure it didn't get out. Boy, I bet you they were watching his ass the last few days or weeks of his life. Phew. Scary thought. You know, scary. But, you know, we would have had technology a lot quicker with him. Free energy. We'd have probably had the internet, the computers earlier on, but we would have probably had the full-fledged internet like now, real high speed like now, probably by about the mid-60s. Instead of the mid-90s, would have been the mid-60s, about 30 years, you know, early. And that was with a lot of stuff. Television would have been, had it figured out. So probably by the teens, he would have had action movies. You know, 30, 35 years, had been more advanced with that kind of stuff, with television, with video cameras. We would have been with Tesla. Yeah, I mean, but there was no money in it for the big corporations. You can see why, obviously, we didn't go there. It's not a real complicated question to wonder. I mean, where's the money, man? I mean, there's no money in giving it away for free. And that's what he was told by Westinghouse and Edison. You know, Marconi ripping him off, too. I mean, you know, he made like the perfect angelic versions of AI type shit, right? And when you get these dark forces that rip it off and want to do it for profit, the product's about half-ass or only 3/4 gas, you know, and has problems. It's not like when it's in the hands of the angelics or the, you know, star races like the Pleiadians. You know, that's who artificial intelligence and stuff should be in the hands of, is people like that can use it to aid in medical, you know, situations and advance our societies ahead a century within a decade. You know, that's the kind of thing, you know. And that's just how it is. But Mercury being in retrograde, yeah, man, it started what? So today's Thursday, Thanksgiving. It's about, what time is it here on the West Coast? It's 10:26 p.m. 22:26 p.m. here on the West Coast of the United States. And in that indention on the on the western coast, on the coast of Oregon, I live about as far as you can get on the West Coast. I would say I am, going that way. Yeah, I'm probably about 5 miles to be able to get to it. Actually, about 5 miles from the furthest you could ever possibly go on the West Coast before hitting the Pacific Ocean. Out of California, Washington, Oregon. Oregon has that indention that goes in, and that's where, you know, my town is. So we're about as far west as you can get out here in the, you know, sticks. I've never been back east. Nope, never. Not even people, if you know me. Never. I've had so many chances, though. Believe me, don't forget, I've had a lot of chances. Okay, I was all ready to go one time. The first time was my class trip that we had, my 8th grade class trip. Every year they took one. It was spendy, you know, but my grandparents and my parents put together the money for it. They had to cancel it. It was the one year they went in, they said, yeah, we could maybe let you go next year. But by that time, I was a freshman in high school. I was full-fledged, you know, doing other things that, you know, that I'll have probably some of it that I'll have to take to my grave with me. You know, and it wasn't just something I would have done, you know, because it would have required me bringing something with me that I shouldn't have had. And yeah, anyway, another story. But yeah, it's just, we're out here on the West Coast, and before the internet, yeah, California is one thing when you're in SoCal and whatever, but out here in the Pacific Northwest, back before the internet, man, we literally were out in the woods out here. Not even, you know, people back east didn't even yet know how to pronounce the name of the state right, Oregon. Instead of that, they would call it Oregon. Now you don't hear it no much. I'm glad that things have kind of evened out, and, you know, people know where we are and who we are and know how to pronounce it right. It didn't piss me off, don't get me wrong. It just was like, what the hell are they? It's this Oregon business. It's not, it had nothing to do with their accents either. Because I know that's the case. I've had teachers from back east, baseball or Larry. Oh, Larry, you're such a good student. Yeah, right. Yeah, well, so this is going to be going on until about the 16th of December, this Mercury retrograde. And here I am thinking, okay, yeah, my legs are bothering me a little bit, but that's because of an injury I have. And so last night I was like, you know what, man, maybe I'm going to get through this without any problems. Maybe it's just everything's cool. I've heard a person or two say that they're hurting, but I think they're individual shifting. I haven't heard a bunch of people come out about it. And then I got to thinking today, I'm like, yeah, I ain't going to count my chickens before they hatch. This thing could just be a couple days off. That's it. And then it could be one of them things where there's nothing, but it's real hardcore for about a week of it. So you never do know. It's all about how the flares fall and shit like that, and what do you call those? I'm at a loss for words. I want to say radiation drips. The things that emanate from it, whatever, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's a matter how they fall or, how they come into Earth's orbit. There's so many factors into it. Okay, it could be a little bit late starting. There could be people out there that I don't know that are really going through some shit, but then again, there's always people that are. The individual shifts are constant. Okay, but I'm talking about a collective. I haven't heard a rash of people talking about hitting them yet. So we'll see, and maybe you can leave a message if you think that it has or you've gone through it, because I just don't know. I would hear this, if it was going on, and I'm not feeling it, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. I'm not saying, that I'm the end-all, be-all of feeling it. And it could be this, too. Check this out, peeps, star babies. It could be that this last shift we had, this was fucking intense. I've been through a lot of them, but they were constant. You got to understand, from about 2011, about the summer of 11, and especially when right around the New Year started in 12, all the way until, I was trying to figure out, it certainly wasn't any later than maybe the first month or two of 2016, but I don't think we quite got, I think the shifting was done by about the late fall of 15, and 14 was really hard. So that 2011 summer to 2015 kind of fall stretch, that 4 years, it was really nasty. I mean, they did happen. We'd get a week off, week on, week off, week on, all the way through it. We got used to even doing it. This one here was kind of funky, though, that we went through. It was really hardcore, and it was lasted a little bit longer than it was supposed to, but we made it through it. But it was wild. It really, and I've got to admit, and I've been around, it was wild. Now, some other lady that I really trust and respect, like an auntie, she was telling me that, Carolyn was telling me that, excuse me, was telling me that there was one in, I don't know if it was Carolyn, God, she'll kill me if it was her. One of the ladies was telling me that in 2019, 2020, right around the kind of switch of the decade, that we were having one. That if anybody was awakening around that time or had just been awake for a couple of years, let me know if that rings a bell, if during, if right before COVID hit. So it would have been this, check it out, the peak of it would have been about, 3, 4, maybe 5, no more than 6 months before COVID started is when the series started of it. And then, a little bit afterward too. That's what I was told anyway. That's what, but I don't know. I didn't feel anything then because I was off the grid for 5 years. Not off the grid, but I wasn't on, it was on Facebook, but I wasn't doing any shows or anything like that or really being involved. And I should have, damn it. And it wasn't, I did it because somebody I loved, wanted me to kind of get away from that and limit it. So I did, but I should have still did a few shows now and then. I feel bad, I really do. And I missed opportunities. But, so the Mercury retrograde, right? Yeah, it can be intense, man. I used to get it in my hips really terribly bad. I'd get the stabbing in the back of my knee, not on my knee, but like somebody was coming up behind it. Oh man, shit aches big time. So we'll see where it goes, but I mean, I wouldn't sit there and go, I haven't had nothing happen yet. It's only been 2 days. This thing's supposed to go 16, and time is suggestive. It can go a little longer. It can start a little bit later, But yeah, let me know if you know anybody that's, and I'm not talking again about individual shifts, but let's kind of get into what this some of the effects this Mercury grade is having though right now. This is from a good source here. This they say that because of the volume that it is right now and the planets, the number of places it's hitting, that it's causing some communication issues and misunderstandings. This ought to be good because I skimmed over this. I'm an Evelyn Wood speed reader, and no, I really am. This is some of the problems, okay? So it's moving through Sagittarius right now. We know that, right? And Sagittarius is actually kind of influencing, the emotions. They're running high. A lot of these emotions are, I can tell you that right now, they're leading to disagreements. I can see it. It's happening between family members and stuff, just little tensions like that. Let's go individuals. Let's go individual signs. Let's talk about Capricorn. I always liked that name, Capricorn, when I was growing up. I wished I was a Capricorn then, but I'm a Leo. Capricorn, listen, hey, habits from your past that you thought you left behind, they might come back. While you may feel like letting go and relaxing, unfinished work tasks will need your attention. So it's time to tie up loose ends. They don't usually talk that way unless they mean it. So if they're getting that blunt, I'd take heed of it, Capricorns, if that fits you. Aquarius, the age of, okay. Look, you might feel like you're usually able to handle everything. You usually feel like maybe you're being tested, though. People from your past, you could be tested here. People from your past may reappear. I wonder if there's any Aquariuses that rings a bell with. And you'll need to decide. You're going to have to figure it out on your own whether or not you're going to give them a second chance. It's also, they say, so for some of you, it's a good time for you to go revisit some old project that you kind of started and stopped. Anything like that come to mind that you were going to start getting taken care of, and then it just, things got busy? Well, there you go. There you go, Aquarius. Oh, Pisces. Yeah, you're going to find yourself feeling introspective at work. Former coworkers, they could approach you with interesting offers, but conversations about promotions or new roles might face delays. Take heed in this and be patient. If that's going on with you, somebody's trying to recruit you, and, be patient and think everything through, as far as what you're going to do between that and your current work. Aries. Okay, Aries. Mercury retrograde. This is something too that I heard from another source, one of my that channeled to me. There could very well be some, like transportation issues, flight delays, just things of that nature. It was kind of weird how I'd heard it too. So I don't know where they're hearing that from, but obviously something, either it's true or somebody out in the ether screwing with them. I don't know. No, but just be careful and understand that there's going to be some crazy stuff like that happen, but it happens all the time anyway. Also, Mercury retrograde, check this out, your pocketbook, your wallet. It could mess with your finances. You might all of a sudden see forgotten bills resurface. Payment delays, notifications. Emotionally, it is a good time to let go of the past and focus on a fresh start. Yeah, I agree. It probably is. Yeah, I would say that it is. It's not easy for everybody to do, but yeah, it probably definitely is. Here's the thing, Gemini, Taurus, my mom and my soon-to-be ex-wife, Sif, and my homegirl who started off on my network, Bridget Rao, Divine Essentials, they're all, guess what they are, Tauruses. And yes, they're all stubborn as hell. Yeah. Yeah, all of them. Bridget, my ex-wife, or soon-to-be, and my mother, they are fucking Tauruses from the word go. And all three Pleiadian chicks. Yeah. Well, no, Sif is not. Sif is from the angel realms. Sif is not a star. She came in with the blue rays. She was one of the angel crew that came in. You got to understand something about her. I've only met 4. I thought it was 2 others only. There's another maybe. Out of about 6,000 women I've talked to in our field, in our career, in this starseed community, lightworker community. They're all really brilliant in the mind and ascended, but I've only met 3, maybe 4 of them that are totally full-time, top dimension, 13th dimensional souls incarnated here to Earth. You get into the 14th, you're in angel realms. 14th and on up, which is endless, is angel realms. 13 is the highest you can be and still be in existence, really, as we know it. Okay, yeah, and I've only known, and there's people that fluctuate in them. I know a ton of ladies that are in the 12th. It's just a matter of a couple things being adjusted, and they could be 13 too, but these 4 are natural at it. And they're all, it's funny, they're all from age, they're all like age 50 to 52, or age 50 to 53, except for the one, well, the 3 of them are. The one other one is like a lot older than, a hell of a lot older than that, but here's the deal. She looks like, you could be easily convinced she was younger than any of the other 3, and the other 3 are not chopped liver. They look good, okay? I mean, I'm being real with you. They look beautiful sisters, so it's, and all starseed sisters are, but especially Pleiadian women, my sisters, they're beautiful. All I have is a feeling of a sisterhood with them, though. But yes, their features, all starseed women, their cheekbones, their hair, their, yes, their booties, all that stuff, it's accentuated features, okay? Their DNA was changed. The women that started being born in the late 50s, okay? And a few even clear back to 47, when we had they started coming here after those 2 bombs we released in 45 that tore a hole in the space-time continuum. Okay, so, Taurus is, yeah, but they're telling Taurus, that these bills might come around. Oh, God, Mom, I better, what are you going to have come around? It's a good time to let go of the past and focus on a fresh start. Yeah, I know. Sif would be glad to hear that. Yeah, you get your heart broken, whatever, I guess that's my life. I'm going to get my heart broken forever, so. But I've learned one thing, hey, don't put yourself out there like that anymore. It's, you got yourself, and that's all you need, even though I miss talking to somebody like that, having a companion to talk to. Just a few, because I really love I grew up as an only child, no sisters, no brothers, alone a lot. And, I really like having that kind of company to talk to. Nothing weird or perverted or any ulterior motive, just, a divine feminine to talk to. Anyway, let's go on. Enough of my personal bullshit. Cancer, okay, some of the drama, it might show up, some drama might start really creeping into your life. Okay, old habits, workplace misunderstandings, here we go again with that. These conflicts could reappear. Take the time to set boundaries in both your personal life and as far as your responsibilities go. Yeah, boy, man, this reader, this must have been totally on a rant that day. Okay, here we go. Here's Locken and Locken Sr., my daddy-o. And 1st of August, he's born on the 3rd of August. His favorite nephew, one of my favorite cousins, Doug, on the 2nd. We got 1, 2, 3, President Obama and Tom Brady and who else, and a couple other people. Jeff Gordon are all born on August 4th. And Dad and I both, each of us have 2 really, really, really great friends that are born on July 31st. And one of his sisters is on the 30th. So we've got, and we have a cousin that's on the 5th, so we have it right through there. Okay, these are all Leos. So what do we have in store, Leo? Leo, things have been going well. Oh, they have. But Mercury retrograde might leave you feeling stuck or uninspired. Well, sorry, Mercury, something already beat you to the punch. This is a great opportunity to revisit old. It's telling me that again? Okay, so apparently for them, it's time to visit old projects. They're also wanting to tell me that I should reconnect with an old flame. No, like who though? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, dude. Nobody would want to date my ass anyway. So I mean, it's good. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Be cool, but okay. Virgo. Yeah, I had a cousin. She was almost like my sister, kind of. She passed away. She was Virgo by hours, literally. I mean, literally, like if she'd have been born what was it, 7 or 8? Yes, like 7 hours earlier she would have been a Leo. Let's see, for Virgo, your family matters, they could get tricky, aren't they, always, during the Mercury retrograde. People from your past might try reaching out to you, but it's your decision to whether to let them back into your life. You could also face challenges at home, but you'll handle them just fine. Yeah, it sounds like maybe you got to think it real clear before start getting back with these people again. You know, what do they want? What is their agenda? Or start slow, you know, and just tell them, you know, you're busy and stuff. You know, let's see what they want, see what their agenda is. But okay, so okay, here's my men. Here's my ladies and men here, Libras. I'm not going to go into the story and bore you, but there are 7 situations with Libras. There are 7 different people, and yes, a few of them know who each other are, but they're not really close friends either. But what I'm getting at, 7 different people that are Libras have helped me out of the blue in weird situations in my life, like had my back, like were there for me, you know, like just like cool buddies would be, in all kinds of ways. And they were all, yeah, I was all like that. They're all Libras, all 7 of them, man. Isn't that weird? One of them's a lady. One of them is a lady, though. But still, 7 souls like that. Man, I'll tell you what. Okay, here we go. Scorpio. Here we go, yo, Scorpio. What's the scenario? Well, the scenario is this, my man. Finances might feel unstable during this retrograde, okay? Yeah, well, be careful with spending and think twice before making online purchases. They may not, they may not turn out as expected. Okay? You need to focus on prioritizing what is really necessary. So, I don't know what's being suggested there. You turn off the tube for a while every day. And, yeah. Anyway, so, okay, prioritize Scorpio. Good, yeah. You guys got it figured out. You're kind of a boring one anyway. No, I'm joking. I can just hear the feedback or the pushback. Sagittarius. Okay, son, this is for you, my oldest boy. You might feel insecure about yourself during this retrograde. These challenges in your close circle or news from the past could leave you reflecting deeply. Oh, man. It's also a great time to revisit an old project and bring it back to life. What they're really hammering home with is bringing an old project back. Man, when I think of a project, I think of somebody out there making woodwork or something in the garage with a lathe. I don't know what the hell they mean. Even though one of my pages is called Project at the end. It's just kind of a catchphrase for me. Nebulas. See, this is the main thing I wanted to talk about, was these nebulas and these wormholes and portals and the differences, right? But I do want to hear one other thing. I'm going to take a quick gander and listen. I want to hear, as far as this Ascension symptoms go, I wanted to hear a little bit from Auntie, not Reva's my sister, from Auntie Mira, who's been a good channel, who I've been listening to since I've been listening to her, I think, since it was a couple months after I had my contacts, first ones. I think it's been since about May of 2011 that I've been listening to her. So, you know, we're going on about 14 years since I first heard her. I think she was on her own then. I don't think back in the day she was a member of the GOFL. I think she was just kind of a free agent back then, but, you know, she was around. She was definitely around. But Mira was talking, and I wonder, you know, the cell phone, the equipment never works when it needs to. But I think that I've got it right now. Yeah, I just had to get to the right channel. And there we go, I think. Let's see, Pleiadian University. Here we go. Wouldn't it be cool if there's a Pleiadian University? Teach Reiki, teach everything, meditation, all kinds of really heavy stuff. Telekinesis. Okay, so Mira on the wall. Tell me, Mira, who's to fall? Okay, we're gonna go here. We're gonna do this. So people, just be careful. Drink a lot of water. Have a lot of fluids. You know, things of that nature, and just be aware. Be aware of your body. There's preventative measures you can take. You know, as long as you're eating right and drinking enough water, and it's essential that we drink water. It really is. I've always known that, but now I really know it. You know, it's a pretty important thing. Okay, so, okay, you know, this is really driving me absolutely bonkers. I should probably stop this until, no, I'm not going to do that because I think we're there. I think we're going to have Mira here in a second. We're going to have Auntie come on. Okay, that was... Wow, okay, they've got another one since then, too, on there. But she's talking about what'll help with Ascension symptoms, okay? So I am going to highlight a little bit of what that would be if you need some help with your Ascension symptoms, because I know they're hell. But thank God your name is not Raquel Toombs. She went through the worst ones I've ever still seen to this day. She was going through them in early 14, hard, real hard. I mean... I know, I've talked to a million people while they were going through them, or thousands anyway, and when they were attacking even, and it was pain, but this was messing with her. This was like screwing with her bones and like rearranging her bone structure and all kinds of shit, you know, messing with the back of her head. It was really crazy, and I would sit on the phone with her for hours back then. This girl was really going through this shit, and she was the only true walk-in that I've ever met yet. There's others, of course, but she's the only true walk-in that I've ever met, Raquel is. And, you know, she knows that she is, too. You know, you don't use heroin with a needle for years and years and years and years on end and then just quit on the drop of a dime without some divine help. It's just the body, it's not possible to do that. It isn't like, you know, being strong and quitting something. You need that. You generally go through a few days where you need that bad. You know, and so and she was just ready to... A new soul came walking. It's still her. She still remembers the past, but she remembers it, but she doesn't feel it. You know what I mean, as far as that goes, because there was probably another person in her body. And that's what I would think anyway. It's the only person that I've ever met that I would think that about that was a walk-in totally. You know, in our realm. But, you know, Mira on the wall. Mira talks about... My eyes are getting so bad. You know, going through this ascension process, right, and trying to achieve as much harmony as we can. You know, like, let's see, to the new, it may feel like, let's see, stats of imbalance as the old gives away. Process a temporary state of imbalance as the old goes away, the old gives way to it. To the new, it may feel like you're playing an endless game of scramble, but let me assure you that the chaos is merely the shredding of Illuminati technology. Wow, that is good news. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. You know, the thing about it is all the artificial intelligence in the right hands of the Pleiadians, hands of the Arcturians, hands of some of the Sirians, hands of the angelic realms, it'd be perfect. I mean, you know, it would be used for, everything would be used out of love and for the right thing. That is, yeah, that's pretty damn important, you know. Illusion technology, that's what they're trying to talk about shredding, is this illusion technology. You know, it's just an illusionary thing, it really is. Yeah, wow. Yeah, so she just goes on to basically say that, you know, you got to be careful. The energies are, you know, fast and furious, and let's see, you know, she's sitting. Okay, then she was just guiding them back through another meditation when they went in the other room. Yeah, okay. Okay, I understand now. I see. So, when you're talking about a nebula, let's get in. Let's go there. Let's go there with a nebula. Beautiful. I love nebulas. I've got an obsession with them. Basically, the generic version, of course, you know probably, it's an interstellar cloud. There's several different categories. One would be a planetary nebulous. Okay. Now those are produced by a red giant by a red by a red giant that is shredding a great deal of its outer layer. During the last phase of its life, this tends to occur. Oh, okay, I know what they're talking about now. Okay, yeah. Okay, they were messing with it earlier. Okay, so as far as this goes, as far as the nebulas go, and there's different kinds, and a lot of it's not really clear to me. These regular nebulas, they're manifestations. They're creation's manifestation centers, like the light ship is doing what it does. These are, healing centers that should be popped up all over the planet, and somebody running them. This is what should happen. Okay, this stuff should be taught at university, man. All the stuff that is associated with our cause. A big old variety. Have it picked up there. It's really wild. But when a central star, when it finally ceases to maintain core fusion, it collapses, often forming a white dwarf. The collapsed star is intensely hot and emits X-ray or extreme ultraviolet radiation. This possesses the gas cells and the fluids. The planetary nebula, that's kind of a misnomer. The planetary nebula, well, that's not a planetary nebula. The others are kind of more off planet than he is. Okay, wow. This is, and then it gets into, James, what is that kid's name? James, he's been James Webb, I think. He's been taking all those pictures of those nebulas and stuff like that. He's getting some good, some good footage. Really good footage. You also have what's called a supernova. Okay, we talked about that in the beginning. I sang you that song about the champagne supernova. In the sky, right? Okay. When you have a dying star, when you have it explode, right, such as a supernova, other nebulae are regions where new stars are beginning to form. Okay, so like I said the other night, they're constantly, when they're not working on a project, these nebulas, right, these real nebulas are not, when they're not working on a project for something else, basically in their downtime, that's what they're doing, is they're either constantly astral traveling or they're, just playing around and enjoying themselves, okay, until it's time to come in to work. The term planetary nebula, though, it's a kind of a misnomer too in itself, because the objects are not related to the parents. Astronomers in the 19th century have temporarily seen this before, and they can't believe their eyes. They've seen other planets that are not able to take anybody, and so getting back to this stuff here, some examples, that planetary nebula I mentioned, it has endless allies, and I'm not so sure I'm impressed with it anymore. What did she call her? Yeah, planetary rebellious or something. What the hell kind of an insult is that? Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, exactly. But some of the examples of a planetary nebula, because there are many, there's the Ring Nebula, there's the Dumbbell one, there's the Neptune, there is the Stingray, the Aqua Ray, and the Milky Way. Man, all kinds of A's, eh? Yeah, move on. Come on, Canada, we move you down here, eh? Yeah, A, okay. Well, okay, A, we'll listen here. Okay, so when nebula's at a certain point with all these new stars, okay, yeah, it's there. It means something like it's against the law over there, because it means something like I want to be with or something like that. But I'm not going to critique the song, or I'm not going to critique how the person interpreted it. You know, I just put it out there on the ether, and that's how it goes, okay? You know, these galaxies, okay, let me just put it this way. These galaxies, they're made up of many, many, many different cosmic objects, you know, including, up to, yes, up to and including nebulas. Yeah. Isn't that something? Yeah, I didn't know that. Well, he would have hated me forever. Wow, did we have a leg to stand on even? Yeah, anyway, so nebulas, these clouds of dust, they are, and that's what they are, is they're clouds of dust and gas, okay? And they can exist within the planet, galaxy, or, you know, hide. You see, either or. Yeah. Okay, well, are you going to go to the store? Okay, all right, Dad. Okay, you can tell, you know, you can tell when an image is from a certain galaxy, just by taking the name of the galaxy and putting it by the kid, and, you know, and you'll know who it is. These nebulas are gorgeous, though. They're just beautiful. I fell in love with them. You know, there's all kinds of designs, all kinds of rainbow colors coming through them. Just a relaxing. They are really part of Creation's Manifestation Center. And this is what I've gotten. I've gotten this from a couple places, but I want to give a shout out to the Pleiadian Plasma Collective, the Plasma Collective of Pleiades, the 12th dimensional beings. You know, they're not here tonight, and they weren't here the last one. So, but, you know, that's okay. She's been around. Yeah, she'll be fine. She's a survivor. So, I mean, I'm not too worried there, but I do get concerned about people and wonder how they're doing in their sobriety, and, you know, if everything's going okay. Yeah. Okay, all right. But, you get into it, and I love portals too. I love everything about this stuff. Portals are really cool. I wish I had a doorway going into my house that looked like you're having to walk through a portal. Wouldn't that be really cool to have? I think so. I think it'd be really cool to have one. Indeed so, yeah. We've talked about it going into retrograde, right? We know that. I went through all the signs. The nebulas themselves, now, okay, the nebulas themselves, there's wormholes, there's galactical portals, there's, well, that was weird, okay, anyway, yeah, okay, that was really, really strange. I had a technical glitch there for a second. This stuff all glitched out on me. I've got like 2 laptops going and 2 phones going to try to make everything work and make sure everything stands in line for sure. So I don't know. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, if I'm even getting picked on or picked up by them. Yeah. Okay. This is, and it never works quick like I want it to. Wow. Huh. It's a long time. Yeah. So these nebulas, I think, when, you know, they're not the interplanetary ones, but the regular nebulas you see, they're creation. They're creating life. They are creating life. The seeds go in there, and they're the ones that create the seed that goes out into other planets, not just Earth. They go looking for Earth-like planets to try to seed. It's what the Pleiades do. They're explorers. They want to know. You know, yeah, that kind of startled me even a little bit. Yeah, I was just glad to see him, though. They didn't know that, though. But yeah, it's too bad that he. But the creation light ship is gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah, I thought so. In these nebulas, it's kind of like the same kind of plasma type energy. It's like liquid air. It's like a little bit, it's solid, but yet it's fluid. It can be up in the air. It's really amazing. Yeah. Wow. What a challenge, though. Yeah, that'd be the... Oh, man, that'd be the crazy thing about it. But these nebulas are constantly producing stars, too. What they're doing in the meantime, when they're not working on a project, it'd be like if you want a constellation or a universe started, you were that high of a being, and you wanted to be in control of it, or everything on there. You could control. You can control getting a lot... Trust in creation. Trust in the source flow. Trust in the cosmic divine source flow of all that is, and it just consciously goes. Absolutely, there was no beginning to time. It just didn't happen. All that stuff is crazy nonsense, And that's where we're at right now. Okay, these nebulas seem to be more and more in our purview. Everywhere I look, they're in everything. So I don't know if that's the latest catchphrase or what, but yeah. Be good. And also, let's see, there was some other things I want. Oh yeah, the big event, the main event. Yeah, well, that main event, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to tell you this. I don't know. I've been telling people this since a decade and a half now, almost. 13 years in these groups. That we are here to save ourselves, and there is nobody necessarily coming to help us. There may be people coming to see us, to be beside us, and march us on to victory, but they're not allowed to share their music here. Yeah, it's, I don't, well, no, hold up, I don't think that's going to work. Yeah. Wow. But just be careful out there with the Mercury and the retrograde. Now, portals, that's an interesting subject, portals, okay? These are all sort of offshots of each other. And remember, everything is just energy. Now, we know all this, right? Everything is just energy. But within that energy, there are variations of materials and stuff that go into, having them exist in some kind of a body at all. Like the orbs are really a trip. I wonder. Yeah, the orbs. The orbs are strange, and it seems like I don't know. They've been the best guides I could ever ask for. They were great to me. They didn't answer a lot of questions, but they would within a day or two shoot me to somewhere where I could get the answer for myself. What they did was they helped enable me. And when I talk about my awakening, I'm talking about the contact with the UFOs, with the Pleiades. I was totally awake on other shit. I was way ahead of it and way already knew about it. My group, the Fringe Thinkers, I started that like 2.5 years, or I gave that up about 2.5 years before I even, had any dealings with him. But, that's just how that goes. The portals, they look like you just want to jump through them like a dolphin through a ring. Don't they, though? Don't they look just like that? Okay. Well, now it's a simple matter of click and click. Let's see. What do we got going on over here? It's a kind of a chill night, It's about 11:07 on the West Coast. This is your DJ with the most, Rockin' Larry Locken, guiding you through those nighttime hours, baby, when people think a little bit clearer. They think straighter. Oh, my divine feminine goddess, my sisters, my aunties, oh, you're so beautiful. You have the weight of the world on your shoulders. You've been carrying it so long, my goddesses. So long, it's time for you to relax. And just calm down. Maybe find a nice, comfortable place to sit with, just to sit there and be quiet and just let it be. Just let everything go. Just relax. Just try to be at peace. Everything is as it should be. Everything's gonna be fine. Okay, just rest and relax. You shouldn't have any problems at all. None. The gateways, the portals, this is important. Really important stuff. Okay. Alright. We have got to talk about the portals. Now I feel a little bit better. I kind of calmed myself down by using my own voice. It's weird. I don't like my voice, but it seems to, I'll take it if it works. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. Well, maybe a little I am. But galaxies and nebulas is going to have to be one that we talk about too. Okay, so why don't we do that though? We're going to get into what the hell the difference is between a galaxy and a nebula. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? What is the difference? Okay. Well, galaxies are much larger than a nebula is. Of course, we know that. I mean, boy, that kind of goes without saying. That's like saying a planet is larger than a country. Yeah, typically, I would think. The galaxies are made up of a whole soup, stew kind of mix full of cosmic objects. You're talking about black holes, you're talking about stars, dark matter, cosmic dust, and, of course, nebula. The nebulae by themselves. The nebulae, they're like clouds of dust and gas that can exist. A galaxy or hide a single or a system of space bodies. It said within a galaxy or hide a single or system of space buddies or bodies. I don't know what that means. Some of the nebulae are created. They're created from dust and gas that expands. When a star dies, others rush there to replace him. That must be how it goes, I guess, or what they go in. They go through consciousness to go in and do it. Yeah, possibly. But these galaxies, they're usually made up of, cosmic dust, dark matter, like I just said, the nebulae, they're dust and gas, basically, okay? And gas that can exist within a galaxy or hide a single system of space bodies? Yeah, okay, definitely. Some nebulae were created from other regions. When a star dies, for instance, while there are regions where the stars are forming, the term nebula was originally used to describe any diffused astronomical object, including galaxies. For example, the Andromedan Council, the Andromedan Nebulae, they don't have one. That's, you might want to think about doing that, getting one. The term nebula was originally used to describe any diffused astronomical object, including galaxies. For example, the Andromeda Galaxy, it was once called the Andromeda Nebula. That's very interesting. It's very interesting. I wonder what they have to say about Earth. The true nature of galaxies wasn't confirmed until the early 20th century by that's quite a name, Slipher, Slipher, Slifer. I don't know. I apologize if you ever heard your name on there and me butchering it. Slipper. I can't make it out. It could be Slippers. It could very well be, but I don't have any idea. Yeah. Let me see what that was about here. Okay, never mind. Okay, you can tell, if an image is a galaxy or a nebula. Here's the thing, starbursts. I love starbursts, except the pink kind, yuck, which a lot of people prefer the pink over anything. I've got bags full of the pink ones. I'll send them to you if you want to give me your address. First one that does it, I'll pay for the postage and send you like 2 bags of the son of a bitches full. pink. The spectrum of an object can also be used to determine if there's a galaxy or a nebula, or to determine whether that's a galaxy or a nebula. Interesting. Okay, interesting. All right. Huh. Wow. That is really fascinating. To me, like I said, I want to get this into everybody's head, just like the Creation Light ship right here, okay? This is right here. This is Creation's Manifestation Center, okay? They are there to kind of keep things in order. It's a traveling arts university. They, travel interdimensionally throughout all time and space, all of it, okay? They have like 365 outreach ships, right? And then each of those outreach ships has a ton of them. And then probably some smaller ones off of even that. So they're everywhere. You can imagine that they're everywhere. And these are just the beings that are kind of behind the scenes. They're not really involved with, I don't get the impression that they're involved with like living amongst a lot of people that are not like them. But it could very well be. It could be. Because their objects are not related to the planetary nebula. It's a misnomer. It says because the objects are not related to the planets. Okay, I see. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see what this is about. Okay. Yeah, the main difference between galaxies are size. Oh, the size and the structure. Galaxies and nebulas. The size of the structure. The galaxies are much larger. They range from 1,000 to hundreds of thousands of light years across, while nebulae are usually tens at the most. They're in these galaxies. What they're made up of? They're made up of different cosmic objects, including stars, black holes, dark matter, cosmic dust, and Nebulae are clouds that hide, they hide or single out a system of space bodies. Yeah, oh, totally. Some nebulae, I think, hide. I really do. I think they try to. They don't want people to realize what a good thing they got going, and and everybody's going to start loving them. Pretty soon, they're going to be, there are going to be too many tourists around them. Yeah. As long as, maybe not as long as you just keep it simple. Yep. See, last night also too, people, I did some stupid, I wanted to try Twitch out. So guess what? I was on Twitch for 3.5 hours. Guess what? Yeah, no, I wasn't, because it didn't record. Oh, I was so mad. I was so frustrated. I had some things I really want to say that would have been better to have it articulated then than now. Just, I don't know why I think that, but it probably would have been. But nevertheless, I've got it down, and I'm ready to roll with it. I'm trying to think of what else I want to go to next. Okay, planetary nebula. Again, with them, they're very short-lived. They have a gas sheath quickly dissipating. That's what they're like into the interstellar medium. The lifetimes seem to be about, when you get to that level of ascension and you're there, lifetimes seem to be about 10,000 to 40,000 years. I've never heard that. Wow, that is phenomenal. Could you imagine even 10,000 years? I can barely imagine 100. I couldn't imagine too much more than that at all. That's it. That's about as that's about as much as I can imagine. Let's see, yeah, a lot of the outer layers, that's the thing too. A lot of the outer layers of this nebula are getting shedded, okay? Lots of them. And let's see, some of this stuff is redundant. These notes I got, I didn't write them down, but somebody did, and their sentences missing, and okay. They say that typically the nebulae, they're hourglass shaped. Okay, and yeah, and they have a long axis usually, and it's aligned with Alcyon's rotational axis, or whoever the central sun is. Yeah, I think it's yeah, I know that. I know. The planetary nebulae, like I'd said earlier, they have nothing to do with planets. It's just purely a descriptive term, planetary nebulae, based on an appearance in an eyepiece. And aren't they beautiful? Yeah, I think so. I think they're absolutely drop dead gorgeous. I really, really do. And this, I'm all over the place, but I want to tell you this on this holiday, people. I've got to get this part out of here. Okay, before I go back into this with the wormhole. This main event, there's not probably going to be a big main event. It's all a series of events, and they're all important. They're all signal shifts. We don't know an exact time when we're going to ascend, and what are we going to do when we ascend? What are we going to do, go to another planet? I mean, really, are you going to see, I've heard this story, and I know from some reliable people, and hey, if they're right and I'm wrong, and I'm not saying I'm even trying to make an opinion on it, I'm not. I'm a little skeptical that it's going to go down like this. I'm a little skeptical that there's going to be a bunch of flashes in the sky. And if you see a certain amount of them, you're going to ascend and you're going to be taken away off planet. Now, I could buy that we're going to have some of those signals in the sky. It sounds very feasible. I'm starting to yawn, man. I must bore myself to death. It's starting to, it's very feasible that those flashes could happen. But is it more of that it's an enlightenment to show people exactly what level they're at, and that might be the case with these lights? I mean, do you really think that we're going to be taken off planet somewhere or separated completely from the others, or they're going to just fade away? And if they do, will we remember them? See, there's still a lot of those little minor details that are kind of important to know. Sometimes the devil is always in the details. Is that how it's going to happen, or is it just going to be like probably logically it would be like in the mind? It's going to be a consciousness change in the mind. But the thing is, the more people that do that, though, and I've said this a ton of times too, the more people that do that and get into that kind of training, like I see in here, be a light, being a light worker, and I don't mean any official training, but yeah, it's the more that we have, the quicker this is going to go, and it could speed up really quick, and then all of a sudden, boom! It seems like we've ascended just right in that second. But that'll be because a complete organic movement of more starseeds than ever at any time is starting to come in and starting to be committed to the work. There's a lot of them out there. People, look, I told you, like, I helped run. And it was going to be given to me too, but we had it stolen in a coup. It's a long story, but I was running a 50,000 person group in 2000 when I started. Now, before that, but it got to about that in 2014, early 14. It got up there, and we were the second largest starseed group on Facebook, second largest of any of the New Age, Galactic Federation, star systems type of pages. This typical stuff, right? Okay, we were the second largest. The first largest had like 75,000. Okay, but what I'm saying is now you have them in the millions. I've run into a couple of them that are in the millions. People, light worker groups, millions. Oh yeah, 100,000, 80,000, 70,000. It's nothing. It's amazing. So we know this. We know there were at least 5 million. There's probably, my estimation is there could be right now as many as 10 million people between the awakened and the ones that, want to screw around. Okay, well, there's that. But we're going to go ahead and talk about these wormhole. Let's see, a portal wormhole gateway. You know what that refers to? A hypothetical structure in space-time. Okay, so you often have these depicted in a science fiction movie. Okay, it acts kind of, or pictures too, it acts like a tunnel or a passage connecting two distant points in the universe. Okay, it's like a skip ahead. It's like, you got this long, long stretch of highway to go down. But yet if you take this turn off, you can go through a shortcut and it'll take you out on the other side where that is. Okay, that's what like a portal's like. The key points to remember about one, this wormhole concept. The wormhole, it refers to that tunnel, and it's talked about, it's shown in scientific or in science fiction and space movies, connecting 2 points. I was just looking at some pictures that described exactly that before, we got on air. Basically, they're there to create a shortcut for the universe. Yeah, it's to connect 2 points in space and time. That's what they're built for, to find any way they can that they can go through a portal, and they'll be right there. And I believe that they exist all over. They're like that original Mario Brothers game on the original Nintendo. When I quit playing video games, you could jump through that one part. There was a cheat code, jump through this one thing, and then you'd be up in the higher levels, right? You didn't have to go and work your way up to get there. It was really kind of cool. Let's see. Okay, so. Yeah, the gateway, I'm going to repeat that. It emphasizes the idea of a passageway or an access point. It enables travel between different locations in space. Ah, okay. I see. It's not, they say, while the concept of wormholes is theorized in physics. Okay, so it is. So what's the problem? Existence has not been proven, and many challenges exist regarding their stability and practicality for travel. Okay, whatever. Fictional representation is a pop culture. Okay, so some of the fictional representations of like a portal, right? There's usually depicted, right, for visual openings, like in space, that can be there to activate or facilitate a rapid interstellar travel. Yes, it's, their nebulas are I'm trying to just go through this here. I know we've been on a while. I don't want to keep everybody too long. I appreciate it. I've been lonely, everybody. I'm sorry I'm all over the place. I'm really not in a good spot right now. I love you all, and I feel like being honest with you, I'm just, it's kind of sad. I just don't have anybody to really talk to. I'm not trying to give you, the blues here. I got enough shit, though, that I give you a good country song, man. I'd go down there with you. But, yeah, I really do appreciate it if you hear me. Anybody out there, I mean, I love you. Seriously, that's no bullshit. I do. I mean, unless you've done something to hurt my kids or my parents or some weird shit. No, I do love you. You're me. We're extensions of each other. We come from the same, not only creation, we are that creation. If that creation were to snap its fingers and wake up into 100% consciousness and 100% back to real mode, I mean, you and I, we'd do the same thing. We'd both, that phone ring in the morning, we'd both answer it. Because, we are the creation. We are one on that high level. It's a very simple concept. Time never started either. It just expands, and that's how it goes. Sometimes it does retract in places, but it never started. Why would it start? Well, someone would have had to start that, so, But I think that's still a hard concept for a lot of people to grasp, though. And I don't quite understand. Yeah, I don't quite understand why it would be, though. Yeah, I don't understand. But, that's the way it goes. Let's see. Oh, okay, here, this is a good one. They're going to give some examples of that planetary nebula. They're going to give some examples. There is a nebulae, include, the ring nebulae. What's this one? The dumbbell, the nebula, the stingray, nebula numbers in the numbers in the Milky Way. They're likely thousands of planetary nebulae in the Milky Way at any given time. That's what I kind of said with planets and shit. And there's got to be, there's got to be just, man, there's got to be, probably infinity times a trillion Earth-like planets out there in the whole cosmos. These galaxies, though, of course, we went through the part about them being larger. Of course they're larger. It'd be like buying a lawn chair versus a whole shitload of lazy boys, or something like that. It'd be, it's kind of like, duh. Let's see. I can understand being mad about it one time and letting it go, but yeah, that come in. Did he come in twice? Wow. Interesting. And I think the cat is meowing. That cat knows how to push my buttons. You'll hear him meow, and I hope that he doesn't make you guys mad when he meows to come in. He's a beautiful orange kitty. Let's see, he's right now, he is, yeah, he's going to be 13 years old here. He's going to be lucky 13. I got a cat that's going to be 13. Great. Yeah, just what somebody superstitious would need. Yeah, it makes me almost want to go turn on the light. Yeah, exactly. Makes me want to go turn on a light. They're made of, galaxies are, they really do have a stellar spectrum. They're made, in all essence, they're made of unresolved stars. Okay, and then interstellar cloud. Oh, wow. We went over this before, and we went over the lifetimes. How long they last. 10,000 to 40,000 years. And they're beautiful. I'm going to put on this, I'm going to put the picture, the thumbnail. I'm going to put a bunch of nebulas. I think nebulas are fascinating. I think they're creation centers. They're creation's manifestation centers, just like the light ship back there is. It's part of creation's manifestation. Okay, that's what that's what it created. In fact, I think maybe we should listen to a little bit more from Janina. Let's see here. What if we did this? What if we...
Blueprint, and the Earth spirit in charge of this blueprint did not shift in the new consciousness of light. Likewise, Earth's people also could not shift with the rest of creation into this new timeline. Earth's people were held back by the large amount of negativity and darkness. They did not release their densities enough to make it through the universal energy shift mission of Jesus. Earth and its population repeated the same 2,000-year cycle over again. At this time, the human race has lived 4,000 years in the same energy cycle because it did not ascend into the new energy along with the rest of creation. The Earth spirit will not be held back for the second time. Earth is going through its preparation for ascension. At this time, the Earth's ascension. The Earth spirit every 2,000 years, the Earth spirit has an opportunity to ascend to a higher reality of consciousness, if it so chooses. This is the same transitioning process that all human life goes through when a person passes on and the spirit leaves the body. The divine spirit that created the planet we call Earth is in the process of preparing to release its spiritual life force energy from the manifested body that it created. The Earth spirit, like ourselves, is going through the process of releasing densities and reclaiming its divine spiritual identity back into wholeness.
Absolutely.
In order for the Earth spirit to leave this current 3D reality, it must gather together 100% of its divine spirit self.
For sure.
The Earth spirit will not leave any of its consciousness behind during ascension. The Earth spirit with its divine free choice has created and prepared a new planetary life form in a non-dualistic reality of 8-dimensional consciousnesses. This new planetary spiritual blueprint was completed near the end of 2006. Earth spirit's ascension during their universal shift. At the time of ascension, the current Earth spirit that embodies the Earth's physical form and is providing the Earth with its life force energy will leave. The Earth spirit has already created another planet that it will embody in a higher vibration out of duality. At the time of ascension, the Earth spirit's new planet will take form and become fully manifested. The spiritual blueprint of the Earth. A spiritual blueprint was used to create the physical manifestation of planet Earth. At the time of ascension, the Earth's spirit will completely disconnect and leave its divine spiritual Earth blueprint. At this point, the planet Earth will no longer have a spiritual life force energy that would allow it to exist in physicality. The planet would cease to exist. The Earth planetary spiritual blueprint on the creation light ship will be available to the specialized creative planet spirits. They can access this blueprint if they wish to use this planetary spiritual blueprint when manifesting their own planet. They are free to change it as they like, and will be adding their unique life force energy. In this way, the spiritual blueprint can be recreated in many variations anywhere within the realm of light and its many dimensions. Earth and all its inhabitants were created to experience light consciousness, love, and creativity. Creation never intended the Earth and its inhabitants to be entrapped and controlled by the dark, as they have been for so long. Though false teachings, wars, sickness, etc., that have drained energy from people, the dark force just wants to take energy. It spreads false teachings, pain, and sorrow wherever it can find a foothold. Many humans have fallen for its deceptions and are under its spell of darkness. They have forgotten who they are and where they came from. Many of their divine gifts have been lost to them, along with their ability to understand the significance of this historic time they are now living in.
Absolutely.
We have come to intervene and assist your planet spirit to make sure that the Earth will shift into this new upcoming universal energy cycle. The divine light beings are ready at this time to give Ascension preparation, clearings, and healing sessions.
Okay. I think that's about this. This is a long one. I'm not going to play it for all. You guys can look it up. It's a Creation Light ship. I might put a link to it in the comment section, but there's a lot of lulls in it where it just plays music like this. And then what she'll do is when she comes back, she'll repeat. She'll go on to some new information.
Your true spiritual identity.
Okay, not this
All
time.
Creation Light ship healing is love-based, heart-centered. The light ship does not use or recommend using your mind to manipulate energy. Go within. Your spirit resides in your heart center. This is your own spirit connection. All clearings and healings performed by the Creation Light ship will assist you in connecting to this amazing source within you, a light being from the Creation Light ship. We are here in love to accelerate the transformation of your physical body, so you will be prepared to ascend. Janina, Creation Light ship fleet commander. Awaken to your true spiritual identity. Prepare yourself for the ascension. Free yourself.
I wonder why she hasn't been promoted to captain
karmic attachments,
or an admiral.
and endless cycles of reincarnation. Awaken to your higher consciousness. Reclaim your true spiritual.
So basically, yes. Okay, the shift coming around. It's worth going back when you have some time to really relax. I know our attention spans are very short nowadays. I get it, but there's some really good information there, and they're referring to 2012 in here a lot. It's one thing they were off on. A lot of it, that's okay. Like Ryan said, a lot of them were off. She's really talking about there's a shift happening like this between sometime now and 2030. Let me explain for anybody that don't know or lived through it and wondered what the hell happened in 2012. Look, that was a halfway point. We were in a 36-year galactical shift that started in 94. What ended up happening is, the year I hit junior high in 87, 6th grade, okay, a call was put out. We knew we weren't going to ascend. We knew we were going to need another wave to come on in. We're going to need another wave of souls to hit the planet. And some guides from, the higher dimensions, more higher dimensions too. We knew it. We put out the call in 87, okay? In 89, they finally started considering it and talking about it. Things can get a little political up in the Galactics too. Not too bad, but streamlining stuff. They started getting into it in 89 and really focusing on having it happen. And then they started coming in slowly but surely. And then by 94, everybody that was born in 94 was of this new DNA, right? So this galactical shift, because that part had switched over, we were into a galactical shift to shift us into a higher dimension, shift the collective here, okay, into a higher density. but you know, it just it didn't it you had a lot of people scared that it was going to be the end of the world, and I remember that because I got a phone call from the school the night before from the dean of students, and he said, you know, I want you to know your sons are going to be okay. There's nothing going to happen. We've had some people say that it's going to be the end of the world and that they're going to, bring a gun to school. And man, I mean, people really were, this is not funny, it is, but it isn't. People were really nutty. They really thought something was going to happen, just like with Y2K. You know how many people thought something was going to happen? I mean, they did. I know it. I used to laugh with the IT guy that I worked with about this shit. I'm like, you mean to tell me there's going to be a big problem because the date's going to change on a computer? He's all, no. He's all, hell no. He's all, this is a big joke. This guy was a big computer expert, and I know you could, I'm not a computer whiz, but you could explain it to me any way you wanted to, like, oh, had something to do with the setting of a number of a, going back to zeros and shit. Come on, man. Come on, brother. That wasn't the case, and what a lame, and I don't even know a lot about it, but what a lame thing to throw at me. Okay, because it was going to go from 19 to a 220. Come on, man. You know what? Come on. Yeah, but it had everybody scared. It got everybody worked up. They were going to, people were thinking about leaving, moving, leaving, going far away. I don't know. Same thing with 2012. Well, it's the end of the world. So when is it supposed to be the end of the world? Like on that 20, on the 12/21 or whenever it was, right? Or 12/12. I can't remember if it was 12/12 or 12/21. It doesn't matter at all. It really doesn't. But so it was going to end on a day. And then the next day, you didn't leave until you were at your region was in the, midnight hour, so you crossed over into that day of 21 after. Yeah, who knows? I mean, but, it's just going to happen. So what's going to happen? It's just going to boom. We're all going to be ascended. The planet's going to ascend and split in two, and then will we remember these other people? See, I think it's more of a mind thing. It's a consciousness thing. This is all your own galaxy within. Your brain is as vast as a galaxy. It really is. It's wide open. It can tell everything. Okay, it's all you really needed. It's all a person really needs to know. Yeah. So I just wanted to thank everybody for listening. I'm kind of tired. I've got one more show to do tonight. Man, I've got a good guest. I'm wondering if I should have him wait, but he's got a story to tell. He really does, about some stuff he saw and he was involved in. He's very well spoken, very articulate. One thing also I wanted to say real quick about these planetary nebulas. Okay, they also when they collapse and they start forming a white dwarf, right? The star gets so hot and it emits these X-ray and extreme ultraviolet radiation that causes the gas shells to fluoresce. And yeah, it's true. I mean, it's true. It makes perfect sense. So basically, planetary nebula is what it is, kind of made out of these matter and made out of, things in its environment and whatnot. And then the other nebulas are like, to me, they're angelic. They're complete. Everything's from creation, but they are from creation. They are creators. These nebulas are creator gods. The creation light ship is a creator god. I mean, these are the creation light ship and the creation are in nebulas, the regular nebula, the nebbies. They have to be in association with the creation light ship. The two of them have to be in association with creation's manifestation centers. They are both Christian. They're both, creation manifestation centers. Both the light ship is, and both nebulas. It's where creation manifests, and creation does not manifest darkness. It manifests beings, though, that have free will, that chose to go down that road. And that could still and that could still happen again, because it's free will, and it's just, it's up to you once you leave. Just because you were manifested by angels, it doesn't mean that you're going to be one necessarily. You have your own journey to go on. And experience the darkness if you want to, and the misery of it. Okay, you should not be deprived of that. Exactly. I mean, you shouldn't be deprived of that at all. But it's the duality. It's there to teach everybody a lesson. We're going to fight it out. We're going to argue about it. Then we're all going to, get together and show that it was for a good cause. You know, I saw this Galactic Federation commercial, I gotta say this one time, years ago. I don't know what the hell I saw it, but it was a commercial. It looked like it was from the 80s, though. This stuff's been around a long time, the Ashtar Command, all that stuff. The Galactic Federation had this commercial that showed the dark and the light, right? Light beings, star beings, and these dark beings, and it showed that they had a battle with each other. And then it said, and at the end of it all, they all got back together to show that life was about proving there's two sides to everything, or, you know, made some baloney bullshit up like that. And it's never, you know, with me, because I'm an extra, I'm an alien. I'm not even from here, people, really. I mean, it's deeper than even what you think. It's never about what really somebody does or says. That's only about 10% of it ever for me. It's about the undertones I pick up, and it's about the little things like that. And, you know, if they were, you know, it sounds like somebody was all giddy about that. Oh, well, see, it was all for a reason. There's no reason to fear the dark. See, it was all just to teach us a lesson. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah. And then, you know what? I'd love to be in the same residence with that person, and then I'd come up right behind them out of nowhere and go, boo! Oh, really? It's nothing to be fearful of? Nothing? You know, I mean, come on, it was really unnecessary to come around. So yes, I agree with it now that we've got to deal with it, and it's a lesson learner, but don't act like this was a big, great thing to have happen. I mean, you know, creation never would have sunk down that low to have to need it to even happen for any of its new inhabitants if it hadn't have been out there, you know, and didn't spiral that light. They wouldn't have been out there to spiral that light? Fuck, man. Or, I mean, if they would have, we wouldn't have had people that even thought that they might have needed it to learn a lesson. You know, and if you wanted to go, if you're that sadistic to where you wanted to go experience it yourself, you know, go, you know, I'm sure the civilizations had long since had the technology. Long since had the technology for their citizens to go in some kind of a, you know, video game simulator and do that kind of stuff if they want to do anything real weird. Or, you know, go back to a strange era. You know, I'm almost convinced of it. Okay, so yeah, I'm not. The creation light ship is pure. Some people are into the dark a little bit. I know people that do embrace it, and that's fine. You'd think I'd be one of them that does. I don't. Not at all. I'm just it's an old soul that's lived probably tens of thousands of lifetimes. I'm sure of it. You know, I've got to go back a couple billion years that I know. Only been here one other time though. Here, you want to hear something trippy before I let you go too, though? Music, like good songs, like a lot of the 70s music I like and stuff. Some of that stuff around the time I was born, or like right before, a year before I was born, something like that, right? I've heard, now this really trips people out when I tell them this, and you guys will probably be like, whatever, but I've heard those songs elsewhere. Not songs like it, but I've heard songs elsewhere that are between 95 and 100% exact. Words, music, everything. You know what I mean? Maybe a couple of them, there was a word or two different, but it was the same concept. Like I said, 95% exact or 100. Yeah, I've heard some of these songs before in Lemuria and Atlantis here. I've heard some of them on Mars. I've heard some of them back in Mana on Mira. You know, I've heard them before. You know, I've heard them before. And I've operated on different timelines. You know, they talk about the Mandela effect. That's going to start. They talk about that's going to start coming back into our purview. I heard somebody really that I trust say that. Okay, that it's going to come back into our purview. And I'm not one of these big Mandela nuts. Okay, these Mandela effect nutty guys. They get caught up in whether Huggies had an S on it or it didn't. Okay, they probably did, and they probably dropped it and they just dropped it. Why would you make an announcement you were going to do that with a product? Drop a letter out of it. You know, unless you were trying to make a buck, the extra buck. Okay, I've had 3 times that I think, I've had 2 times in my life where I know for a fact something is up. Okay? One has to do with a song called Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. It claims it wasn't released till 94 when I graduated from high school around that time. Bullshit, it was on in 1992. That and Nothing But a G Thing by Dre and Snoop's first hit together. What was their second? They had one for a movie called Deep Cover. That was a good one. 187 on an undercover cop. But they had Nothing But a G Thing. And okay, for like 2 months straight, we had this local radio station at night, and it would play the top 10 at 10. You know, KDOC top 10 at 10. Okay, and for 2 straight months, it was longer than that. It was like 10 weeks. Okay, every night it was either at number 1, it was Nothing But a G Thing by Dre and Snoop, or it was Black Hole Sun, and the other one was number 2. They flip-flopped with each other this whole time, and it was the strangest analogy. It was weird. And I remember talking to my best friend about it that year. He don't, because he doesn't think about a lot of that stuff, the small stuff like my Pleiadian autism picks up. But I swear that song is from 92, but no, it's not. Not in this reality, it's from 94, but I would swear, it'd be, you know how I said I'd never bet my kid's life on it? It'd be something, if there would be something I was ever going to, then know that whatever, that's for sure. That'd be one of them, because I knew it was from 92, not 94. Here's another thing. My friend who passed away in 2001, he on his 26th birthday. Side note about him, biggest Ozzy Osbourne fan you'd ever meet. There's a lot of Ozzy nuts. This guy had air. His room was a shrine to Ozzy. Posters, shirts, guitars, signed by Randy Rhoads, you know, Ozzy's guitar player. Every fucking thing you could imagine, dude. All his parents' money went into his Ozzy collection. He loved him. A couple months after he passed, and it wasn't even announced yet, a couple months after he passed away, guess who got his own reality show and then was all over TV again? My friend would have had a field day. He would have been like a little kid in Disneyland. I can't even explain it to you. You probably never met anybody would have been so overjoyed. Man, he would have been floating to see that. It's sad. But he had this rap album in 95 by this group called the Loonies. A couple of them went on to be, you know, popular on their own, but their big hit song was I Got 5 on It. If anybody's ever heard it, they play it around in different movies and commercials and shit. I got 5 on it. You know, and the real lyrics are I got 5 on it, fucking with that endo weed. You know, talking about good indoor hydroponic dope. When you hear about endo dope, you know, sometimes it is shit from Indonesia, but we don't import our weed. We haven't since the 70s. They quit doing that, you know, the Maui Wowie, Acapulco Gold, Tie Stick, Colombian shit. You don't come over here. The reason is because, one, Reagan really cracked down with the DEA in the 80s on searching ships, but we just started growing better pot than everybody else in the world here, especially the outdoor shit where I'm at in southern Oregon and northern California, where Humboldt County is. The pot was just much better over here. It was better than that big name stuff. So that was twofold. One, it was harder to get over here. Two, the shit we were growing was better. Okay, so, you know, this guy was like, I got 5 on it, fucking with that endo weed. You know the song. There was a song on that album I really loved called You're Moving Too Fast in the Fast Lane. You better cross over, fade to the slow lane. Trying to get rich selling cocaine could get your little ass smoked in this dope game. Those were the lyrics. It was really hip. I mean, I know that sounds lame, but, you know, I think so that about most hip-hop rap, too, but not from that era. Not from about 87 or 86, in the first grumblings of it, to the late 80s, clear till 96. There was some shit that needed to be told. It was social activism rap, like Public Enemy, Flavor Flav, and Chuck D. Oh, man, put it to you, like, you know, fight the power. Man, and they really